welcome guys to episode 2 of the podcast. We actually have George here today. Welcome. George knows a little bit about a lot about stuff, so we figured that we kind of put him in on this episode too, because today, the other day I was actually talking to David, and we were talking about what the races that basically intrigue us, right? So the races that got us into, you know, the motorsports and all that we like watching, you know, and what it's all about. So I know a big one for me and a big one for everyone is Lemans. And Lemans to me is so special. And the reason why it's so special to me is the sole purpose of people don't understand, like, how hard it is to push a car for 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
And that's not just like, you know, that's everything. The brakes, the motor, the like everything. I was watching a guy take a car around the Nürburgring the other day, and you guys might watch him. His name is Misha, and he's really popular on YouTube right now because he takes other people's cars and goes and drives them on the Nürburgring. And a lot of the cars, the super high-performance cars that he drives around there, they don't even last a lap. Like, they last a lap, excuse me.
Yeah.
They last one lap. And he's like, yo, your brakes are gone.
Yeah.
So...
Go ahead.
Go. No, please. Go.
I think the thing for me about Lemans is it's the ultimate test of what a car can do.
Right.
But I think the funniest part about talking about sports car racing, endurance racing in general, is usually the reaction from non-car people, because it goes into one of two camps.
Right.
One, does the car last? And two,
right,
is it one person?
That's always the question.
First off, it is like an armada. It's a group of people.
It's a huge team.
Yeah, it's a pretty big group of people. But I think what makes Lemans 24 so special is, for me, compared to other series that we're going to talk about, is the mix of GT and prototype. And
we'll throw a picture up for you guys just so you can see the different classes. I know especially this year was insane.
Yeah, this year was
with the NASCAR, the garage. What is it?
Garage
56. So the Garage 56 car. If you guys don't know, NASCAR is really big in the United States, but they just drive on circles basically. Well, they took a NASCAR and they said, well, NASCAR isn't just about driving on ovals. We can do other stuff too.
Well, it was because of I think. I don't remember what year anniversary, but it was for the anniversary of NASCAR.
Oh,
and
makes
that's
sense.
why they
makes
added
sense.
it to the...
And so, I mean, I saw a video last night of the NASCAR flashing an LMP1 car.
P2?
Or no, I think it was an LMP1 car. It was a hypercar, dude.
What?
It was flashing him for him to pass. Yeah. And the LMP1 car didn't want to let him pass.
Yeah, that's
pride
and ego.
But I think my biggest thing about that Garage 56 car is that straight out of qualifying, it was already beating the Porsche.
Well, I mean,
or not the GT3,
the GTE,
or GTE.
Yeah, GTE.
I mean, it has such a big
right
motor.
Out of qualifying.
Yeah.
Just think, well, you have a V8 versus what are those hybrid V6?
No, so the LMP2 cars, they're also V8s.
Got you. Okay.
But they're a little bit smaller. I think like 3.5 liters, maybe.
Makes sense.
But the other thing, outside of like modern racing, is like the history behind the sport, behind the model.
Right.
Talk about the most iconic machines, you know, 917
to ever be on a road,
GT40,
and the greatest drivers to ever be driving.
I feel like there's so many heavy hitters. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What about
look at the Garage 56.
It had
I'm
drawing a blank.
Mike Rockefeller
and
Jensen
Button.
Jimmy Johnson.
So,
yes,
dude. Come on.
Yes,
there's a crazy NASCAR driver.
Yep.
Yeah.
An amazing
former F1 driver. Yep.
And a former Le Mans 24 winner.
Yep. Yeah. You got an overall winner. You got a Grand Prix champion, and you got who's the guy that relates most to driving that type of car, and Jimmy Johnson. But I think Garage 56 in general is a really cool idea. I'll tell you guys something that I saw. This was the first time that they put the Garage 56 car in front of other stuff. Usually it starts in the back.
Because
it was so fast. And again, I think it's really cool that they decided to. All right, well, we're going to expand our audience.
I agree.
That was like NASCAR
coming to the world.
They're like, hey guys, we can do more than just that.
And
go ahead.
I think one of the coolest things to come out from public like Instagram and stuff like that, like pictures that came out of Le Mans, was that picture of that NASCAR behind all the LMP cars.
Well, it was huge.
And in front,
it was huge. Like
humongous.
We'll throw a picture on there for you guys. It's huge.
It's so cool.
So the other thing about Le Mans for me is, again, you said it, the history, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's another race, maybe other than like Monaco, maybe, that is as historic as Le Mans. And this is how crazy it gets to where they're still driving. They do the historic Le Mans.
Yeah.
And they're still driving the cars from back then.
And they do the lap around
right.
Like they go out to like the actual city of the cars and they do a parade and stuff.
And just to think about it, I mean, it's Le Mans back in it wasn't as regulated as it is now, obviously. Back in the day, there were guys who were making cars just to claim the top speed on the Mulsanne Straight.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're gonna win.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go faster than you.
Yeah. Peugeot.
They
modified.
Exactly.
I want to say it's a 905, but this is the Group C era. They modified one. Took some stuff out just to blitz down the straight.
That was it.
Just to prove a point.
Just to prove a point. And I actually think to this day that record still isn't beaten. I think they hold the record still.
There's a lot of records. I think if we're staying focused on just Le Mans, the one that impressed me the most was how long it took for the longest distance driven was the 917 for a long time.
Really? It was just lapping or what?
Yeah, as far as I guess a clean race,
stop?
there was no red flags. There wasn't anything like that.
The way they built that car.
Yeah,
that was
the way they built that car.
The 917 is really good. I think.
Where is the luggage? Oh, it's in the door.
I think next for me for favorite motorsports events would probably be. I'm going to go ahead and go with F1, which, man, Formula One in general, I love the cars. I think a lot of people, they talk about how it is. I mean, right now we got Max Verstappen dominating the championship, but it's
boring. Stop winning.
It's always been a case of a mix between driver and machine. So there are always going to be periods where a team driver car combination is just unstoppable.
Right.
It was Schumacher, it was Hamilton. If you want to go all the way back, you got guys like Jim Clark.
Yep.
So there's always been eras. Senna was another one. But I think in general F1 and again, I'm going in my order, but I think F1.
I'm surprised you didn't say WEC. David is obsessed with WEC, so that's why
we started out talking about Le Mans.
I know.
Le Mans and the WEC.
I'm
kind of
surprised.
But I mean, this is the ultimate thing over a lap.
Yeah.
And they're just so unapologetically set up for raw pace, and you hear some of the specs of these cars, and it's just alien, right? 18,000 RPM, 20,000 RPM.
Not to mention the downforce.
The cornering speed of these things is crazy.
And,
Not to mention that.
And I think one of the coolest things, and you could say this about any like motorsport racing, but one of the coolest things about like F1 is that those guys just put everything out and they just drive those cars to all hell.
I completely agree with that. F1 is, and I just recently got into F1, like not recently, but a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. David still yells at me.
Got into it.
David still yells at me because I never got to see the real Hamilton battles back in the day.
Well, I'm real big on. I think the closest thing people my age got from a rivalry perspective in team was Hamilton and Rosberg.
Yeah.
And what a fight between those two guys, right? And now these two guys, you know, they raced together as kids. They were friends, but over 2014 onwards, you just saw it deteriorate between the two.
Dude, that's what happens when, you know, one guy you've been living with him forever. Like, you have to think, as kids, that's their life.
Uh-huh.
And you don't get to, like, go out and, you know, party or play video games or do whatever. Your life is driving, dude.
Yeah.
And they lived together on the bus. They did everything together.
But they lived together on what?
Yeah, from what I remember in a documentary that I saw, they were, like, going to places when they were karting together. Like,
that's pretty cool.
and I thought I saw that on you. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below, but for a while, Hamilton even said in an interview that I remember, he's like, when you're just with someone for so long, after a while, it just gets like, it gets mucky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what's crazy about F1 is, like, with that situation in particular, I remember, like, the day Hamilton announced he was going to Mercedes, everybody was like, why? You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. But then, but why though? But then, you know, like, on a personal level, that goes to show, like, jumping is, like, the ultimate thing you can do. And I remember watching Top Gear. Clarkson gave him a hard time about that.
He did.
Yeah, he gave him a hard time. Yeah. He was like, so you're leaving McLaren, right? And I mean, they're all Brits over there, so of course, like, you know, they're mega McLaren fans.
Right.
And he's like, so you're going to Mercedes? And he was like, yeah, I'll be going to Mercedes, blah, blah, blah. I'm happy about. He's like, where did McLaren finish in the championship? Oh, second. Where did Mercedes finish in fifth? You don't think you blew that? It was something along those lines, but all this time later on, like, who would have known that Mercedes had the split turbo design? Like, that was the core of getting the hybrid era off to what it is. And
it's all Toto Wolff. You can say whatever you want. It's Toto.
Yeah.
It's all Toto.
Yeah. Shout out to Toto Wolff.
It's all Toto.
It's he's a Darth Vader of F1.
Toto Wolff.
That dude is
insert the picture here.
You see him Drive to Survive when he was curly?
No, what?
Dude.
Bro, I spoiler alert, I haven't watched too much Drive to Survive. I think that show has a lot of diva.
Well, even the drivers say that.
Yeah, they worked really hard to make it a show. And, like, it'd be like if me and Josh raced, Josh crashes into me like he does on Gran Turismo. You know what I'm saying? Like, in that moment, I'm gonna be like, yeah, screw that guy. Versus, you know, Netflix, they take that and turn it into, like, this super intense, like, oh, they're gonna get into a fist fight, and it just isn't that.
But
the bad thing is you'll be racing against Lewis. The good thing is you'll be in a Mercedes.
What are you about to say?
So, like, and I've even seen, like, clips of like Lando on the what's their podcast called?
You know what? I couldn't even.
Quantum.
So,
something like that.
Their Quantum podcast. Like, they were reacting to some Drive to Survive.
Oh, and he even says
and
it. He's like, that didn't even happen.
Then.
Yeah.
That was like 3 races
He said what
before.
they do is they clip the drama from other races
probably,
to make it look
I'm
like that.
I'm gonna assume it was. I think it was something with making it seem like Lando was trash talking Ricardo.
Right.
Because
Ricardo's back, baby. Let's go.
Hey, can we talk about that? Can we talk about
Bro,
that?
I told you he'd be back. I didn't say when he'd be back or what seat he'd be taking, but I knew he was gonna be back.
So wait. Did you know Nick DeVries is 28?
Time to go race LMP, my boy.
or what did what's his face do? The guy that I like that drives for Williams. Why can't I think of his name right now?
Alex Albon.
Alex Albon. He drove GT3 for AlphaTauri. GT3 or Ferrari?
So
was it like 488 Cup or something like that?
It was DTM, but it was GT3.
And he won, didn't he? If I remember correctly, he won. I might be wrong.
DTM is intense, and that's a whole nother thing, which I haven't decided if I want to get into that yet. But where we at?
So the big thing with, like, this little episode right here is George used to hate track racing. Like,
I didn't hate
no.
Okay, I hated playing the video game track.
Hated track racing.
Yes,
I
hated video game
like track racing. But George has recently actually started getting more into motorsports because we're really bad at peer pressure, and we all talk about F1. So he mooched off of my account, and now he watches F1 every single race.
Yeah.
So with that in mind,
I've actually watched every single race, and they've like slacked on it
because it's boring. Monaco is such a stupid race.
Honestly,
so with that being said,
I woke up 2 hours into Monaco.
With that being said, though, George, since you recently got into racing, like, what is your top? Like, what do you like about racing?
So,
like,
I really like the aspect of that the racers are obviously they know what they have to do. They're racing, you know, but they are able to just kind of forget about everything and just put everything into that specific race that they're going into, and they know everything about the track they're going to. They know what pebble is where at what specific part of the track.
Right.
Have you guys seen those videos where they're like, okay, they'll hold something to be like, guess the track. They'll be blindfolded and they'll know, or they're like, draw the track blindfolded, and they'll draw it like perfectly. That stuff is crazy.
The one that gets me is when they show them a picture of the track without the track name, and they're like, "What one is this?" And they're like, "Monaco."
Yeah, it's a lot of those newer like street circuits where they have to like guess or whatever.
Yeah. But like Monza and like Imola. And Suzuka, Spa, like all those, they get them like instant.
Sushi GP, baby.
Sushi GP.
What aspect of racing surprised you? I'll let you know.
I think the ability for the racers to be able to adapt so quickly to changing conditions.
Or not. Because Hamilton didn't adapt at the beginning of the season. So would you say that F1 is like your favorite genre of racing? Because recently we put him on the sim and he's kind of jumped into more other cars such as like GT3 and other stuff like that.
So I would say that kind of piggybacking off of what David was saying, I really like Le Mans for the aspect of it's a bunch of different classes of cars that are just thrown into a track and like go race.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree.
And I think LMP cars are just amazing because it's a prototype car. Yeah. You know, they kind of have no restrictions, but they do at the same time.
And that's why I like it so much, is because that's how racing was back in the day.
Exactly.
Modern day racing has restricted innovation, in my opinion, to a good amount. Back in the day, you could throw whatever you wanted into a car and go race.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Sauber C9.
One event I was thinking about bringing up, and I was kind of like, but I said F1 first.
Right.
I was going to talk about the Indy 500. Now,
I actually know nothing about Indy.
Let me open up with saying this. I think the Triple Crown is still a massive achievement. Yeah. But I think back in the day, it meant a little bit more.
Triple Crown is Sebring.
No.
Or is it Daytona, Le Mans, and...
It's F1,
Le Mans, and Le Mans.
And Indy, yep.
Yeah. F1 meaning like...
Really, the most impressive thing is like when you...
Like you're the F1 champion?
No, I think it's Monaco. No, I think it's Monaco.
Yeah. It's Monaco, Indy, and Le Mans. But
I mean, how many people in modern day history have won the Triple Crown?
I know Alonso was going for it.
Yeah, Alonso was.
That's why he drove Le Mans that one year.
No, he got a Le Mans win. He
got the Le Mans.
He needs the Indy 500 win.
Gosh.
Oh, I thought it was in like a certain amount of time.
I just think you have to win each of them.
Oh,
I just thought you have to win each of them.
Well, no, it's impossible to do it in a year.
What? Oh, right, duh. What about what's his face that drove the GT40? Because he was, wasn't that the Triple Crown that he was trying to win? He would have had the Triple Crown, but
Kim Miles?
Yeah.
You know,
he never drove F1 though.
No,
No, he didn't.
no.
But they were talking about him winning the Triple
I don't
Crown,
think
right?
I don't think he drove Indy either.
I don't
Did
think.
he?
I don't know. But back on. We getting a little off topic here.
Sorry.
I think you're good, man.
Just a little bit.
I think about those Indy cars where they just sandbag the crap out of it prior to qualifying. And there's one Indy car, which I'm gonna find it and put the picture in, but at the start of the race, I think it might have had a fan on it or something. It was all-wheel drive at the start of the race. Guy just takes off. I think he ended up crashing out though. But Indy cars used to be a lot. It was a lot more special because I guess probably because F1 was a shorter thing and you had Grand Prix drivers entering in Indy and F1 and bouncing around a lot more. Whereas now it's just like super intense focus.
Indy's
on.
qualifying though, isn't it? Top speed based.
It's an average mile an hour
That's right.
over the course
So
of.
I think, kind of going off of what you were saying before, I think how people look at it now is that F1 or Indy is like the people that don't make it to F1.
F1, yeah. And that's what a lot of.
And that's how a lot of people look at it.
There have been people who have gone up to F1 drivers and been like, "Hey, have you ever thought about racing in Indy?" And they're like, "Why?"
There's been a clip floating around with Schumacher talking about it.
He said they're inferior or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, why would I do it? It's dangerous.
Yeah. Yep.
People that can't make it in F1 usually go to Indy.
Yeah.
And to my point earlier, I think F1 is really a mix of man and machine. You have these guys, like, what's Marcus Ericsson going to do on a Sauber when they're struggling to keep the lights on? So that's the good thing about Indy is it's a pure racers championship as compared to F1. It's like, especially before they did the budget stuff.
Yep, I agree. Yeah. Another type of racing that I actually really enjoy, it's kind of old, is like the mid 80s Can-Am / IMSA stuff.
Oh yeah,
dude, the Audi Quattro that no one can beat back in the day. So they banned all-wheel drive, and then they converted it to rear-wheel drive, and they added a ballast to it, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. And it still was decimating.
The Quattro 90, I believe.
Something like that, yeah. The red, white, and gray one with the wide body.
Yeah.
Come on, like that car's just cool.
There's a YouTuber named I think his name's The Squid.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he makes like documentaries of
talking about
different cars,
different championships.
And if I remember correctly,
he did one on that car.
That
That car is just incredible.
Cool.
The vets that are 5,000 pounds that were going 200 miles an hour, and I've let David drive one of those cars on Automobilista too, and it's hard, man. I don't know how they were taking those cars around corners, man. It's crazy, dude.
So another, and you guys might find this a little weird, but another type of racing, or another type of motorsport racing that I really like is like WRC.
Oh, yeah.
Weird. Why?
I like WRC.
Because I haven't really talked about it, but like, so cool. And I don't know if you guys knew, but there's these guys, this company that is trying to bring WRC to the States.
Huh.
So,
WRC, I didn't know that Mitsubishi doesn't run a car anymore.
Yeah.
Mitsubishi and Subaru.
Mans was out of the loop.
I didn't know Subaru doesn't run a car anymore. David told me that the other night, and I went,
so
what?
I think where the confusion comes along.
What?
To George's point, I think a WRC caliber, maybe not caliber, but a championship with cars at that level in the States would be great. Anywhere from like North America, I think it would be great. I think of places like Colorado.
That'd be cool.
I think the first one they're trying to do is in Tennessee.
Cool.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Bring back Group B. Done. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Group B was
Bring it back.
Crazy, right?
Bring it back. That Audi Quattro had more horsepower than the same F1 car of that year.
Yeah.
and it was driving on dirt.
So what's your
And
favorite?
jumping.
What's your
dirt.
favorite Group B car?
Mine?
Both
Oh,
of
you go first. There's so many for me, man.
Bro.
There's just so many, bro.
I mean, gotta go with the bandwagon a little bit with the Audi.
Like the Audi.
Yeah.
What about you over there?
So, of course, I'm an Audi fan. So, all the credit because they were the ones to bring all-wheel drive
That is correct.
to the
Yes.
to the sport. But when I think about Group B, outside of like all the, I think about the fans or whatever. But the extent to which manufacturers were going
Okay.
to
Yeah.
to enter in this, and they're taking hatchbacks like. What is it? The Metro?
The MG
Where it's
Metro.
supercharged and turbo? Bro, crazy, right?
And it's like this big.
The other one I think about is the Ford
That is so
RS200.
Oh,
I like those. I like those a lot.
Lancia, baby.
Yes.
Lancia, baby.
I wish the 959 would have done more racing in Group B, but they actually ended up.
They banned it before it could drive. It could race in Group B, didn't it?
I think something happened. I'm sure somebody
That would've
knows.
been wild.
But
it won the Dakar Rally.
they took it to the Dakar Rally though.
It won
so
the
there's
Dakar
that.
Rally. And a
Did you-
Rothmans
Have you
livery,
guys
too.
seen the mid-engine Audi Group B car?
The one that Ken Block drove, right? Rest in peace.
Oh, that's right.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Kim.
But the one that the small one, right?
mid-engine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it.
There's
Well-
also a Ford GT that they made for rallying as well back in the day. It was like a Mark IV Ford GT or something like
Really?
that.
You're gonna
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to edit this and put it in the video.
Yep.
Because
A lot of people haven't heard about it, but yeah, they made
I
one.
haven't heard about that.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that one.
But
Weird.
yeah.
That should be a topic. Weird race cars.
Oh yeah.
Like the Astro van that they put an F1
weird
engine
race
inside.
cars. You want weird race cars?
That should be a topic.
Baja race cars.
Baja is.
But you gotta look at a Ventura van, and they took a Ventura van, or no,
talking
it was
about the Renault?
it was a Ford van. It was a Ford van.
Talking about the Renault.
So they did it with the E-Space, and they put an F1 engine in it. But they also
Wait,
did it
is
with
the E-Space the one that's like a bubble? It's
no,
like
dude. It's like
Like
super.
the fish tank?
It's super aero, bro.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay.
pretty crazy. And then they did it in the 60s with like an Astro van or something. It was like a Ford. You know the transit vans? They did it with a transit van back in the day, and they stuffed the engine from a Ford GT or Ford
God.
GT40 Mark IV, and they stuffed it inside the car.
Man's is bringing up all the weirdo stuff.
I think that needs to be.
That needs to be a topic, dude.
That's a great
Weird
one.
race cars. But with that being said, guys, we're running a little overtime on this one. Just had a great conversation about just like our favorite races and stuff like that. We just wanted to kind of bring it to you guys, see what your guys' is. Leave it down in the comment section down below what your favorite race is. If you hate our race, or our picks. If you like our picks, let us know. Let us know what your favorite race car down is in the bottom. And that's going to be it for episode 2, guys. We'll see you in episode 3. Peace out.